The Blue Beetle first appeared by Fox Comics in August 1939 issue of Mystery Men Comics with art by Charles Nicholas Wojciechowski as Charles Nicholas, though the Grand Comics database tentatively credits Will Eisner as the scripter. Blue Beetle has starred in a comic book series, comic strip and radio serial, but like most golden age of comic book superheroes, fell into obscurity in the 1950s. The comic book series saw a number of anomalies in publication. 19 issues, issue 12 through issue 30, were published through Holyoke Publishing. No issue 43 was published. Publication frequency varied throughout the run, and there were gaps where issues were not published, with large ones occurring in early 1947 and between mid-1948 and early 1950. In the mid-1950s, Fox Comics went out of business and sold Blue Beetle's rights to Charlton Comics. Charlton published a few sporadic adventures of the Golden Age character before revamping the hero in 1964. Charlton tried 3 times to use the character to carry a self-titled series. 2 of the attempts retained the numbering of the previous title, and were eventually replaced with new titles that carried on the numbering. The new series was short-lived.
Blue Beetle. Sweeping down upon the underworld to smash gangland comes a friend of the unfortunate, enemy of criminals.
A mysterious, all-powerful character, a problem to the police.
But a crusader for law. In reality, Dan Garrett, a rookie patrolman, loved by everyone but suspected by none of being the Blue Beetle. As the Blue Beetle, he hides behind a strange mask and a suit of impenetrable blue chain armor, flexible as silk but stronger than steel.
Today's episode of the Blue Beetle is entitled Smashing the Arson Ring. Numerous fires of suspicious nature have stirred the civil authorities to a point where a concerted drive is underway to discover who and what is back of this unprecedented wave of mysterious conflagrations. Has the city's fire inspection department become obsolete? Is the increase of destructive fires in abandoned factories and old law tenements due to coincidence? Or is an organized campaign of wholesale arson being engineered by a mastermind? As our story opens, Patrolman Dan Garrett, who in secret is really the Blue Beetle, discusses the situation with his friend and confidant, Dr. Franz, the chemist.
And Danny, do you really believe that there's a ring of professional arsonists who are setting these fires?
I'm positive.
You know, we've had a long dry spell. There's such a thing as spontaneous combustion.
I know that.
Then on what do you base your suspicions?
The fact that in each case the burned building had been vacant for a long time, or had been operating on a losing basis and was heavily insured. Like those old tenements on River Street.
But surely the owners would be taking a terrible risk of discovery if they set them on fire.
Not if I hired professional arsonists. They're pretty clever, you know.
Yes, but look at the property loss. And in some cases, loss of life.
The property losses in each case I've found are all covered by fire insurance. A loss of life, such as in that last tenement fire, is another thing. That's equivalent to wholesale murder.
You're right, Danny. And if someone deliberately set those fires, that person should pay the extreme penalty.
They will, if I can get the evidence I need to convict them.
Well, what do you intend doing?
I'm asking the chief to put me on special duty to investigate these mysterious fires.
With Officer Manigan?
Yes, if Mike wants to work on them with me.
Well, he will, all right. He likes excitement as much as you do.
I know. I can't stand inactivity as long as there are criminals to run down. I'll only be happy when I'm on their trail.
Well, I do hope you'll always be as successful in the future as you have been in the past.
Oh, there go the fire engines. That's my exit cue. So long, Doc. From now on, Dan Garrett's a smoke eater. old man Gordon built a new apartment house, but the insurance will collect on this job.
Yeah, he's a smart guy. These houses aren't worth a powder to blow them up.
Look, there's a girl up there. That fell through a window.
Yeah, she's going to jump.
She'll be killed if she does.
Hey, don't jump.
Look, there's the cop warning her not to jump.
Yeah. Now he's going right into the building. Yeah. And there's another cop going right after him.
Why, they'll be burned to a crisp in that inferno.
Boy, look at the flames pouring out of that window underneath.
Yeah. Looks like curtains for them babies.
Not yet. Look. The firemen just got a hose up that ladder. They're pouring a stream of water into the windows.
Too late, I'll bet.
Yeah. That's the end of the cops and the girl.
Yeah. Gee, what a crash.
Look up there on the roof.
Yeah. It's the two cops and the girl.
Oh, what do you know about that? They went up instead of down.
Just in time, too.
Firemen are slanting a ladder over to them from the hook and ladder truck.
Yeah. But it won't reach. It's too short.
Well, why don't they jump across to the next roof?
It's too far. 20-foot gap. They'd never make it.
The firemen could stretch a net so if
They can't get near enough to the building. That fire's too hot. See it pour out of those lower windows.
I guess they're trapped.
No, look.
Yeah. One cop's hanging to the edge of the roof by his hands. Now the other one's crawling over him.
What are they going to do?
The second cop's hanging from the first cop's feet. Look, he can almost reach the ladder. Look, there's a fireman going up the ladder.
Say, the girl's climbing down over the two cops hanging there. Look out! She almost lost hold.
The fireman's got her. She's safe.
She's safe.
Yeah, but, say, looks like she fainted.
Well, how them two cops gonna get down?
I don't know. They're still hanging up there.
Firemen are backing the hook and ladder truck a bit. Now the end of the ladder is right under him.
Watch him. There he goes. He dropped.
He made it!
Now there's only the cop hanging to the roof. He can't make it, though.
Who is he?
Looks like Patrolman Dan Garrett. The other cop was Manigan, his pal.
And that's Garrett, all right.
Yeah. But how's he going to get out of this jam? Oh, look. The fire's licking up to him now. He's trying to climb back onto the roof.
There he goes. He made it.
How is he going to get down from there?
Search me. Boy, I wouldn't like to be in his place.
Hey, he's disappeared.
No, he ain't. There he is. He's got a long pole.
What's he going to do?
Pole walled across to the other roof.
Gosh, I hope he makes it.
There he goes. Oh, boy. He ought to get a medal for this day's work.
Well, Danny, I understand you distinguished yourself at the fire today.
I almost extinguished myself. It was all I could do to hold on when Manigan and the girl were both hanging on to me. He's no lightweight.
I'm proud of you, my boy. That took nerve.
You've got to have nerve to make good on the police force.
I know, but you covered yourself with glory.
The important thing is, I got some valuable information.
Yes? From whom?
The girl I rescued, Elsie Williams.
Yes?
I talked to her at the drugstore where the fireman took her when she fainted. She worked for Gordon, sort of a secretary and rent collector.
Is that how she came to be in that building when the fire started?
Yeah, she was collecting rents. She told me she saw a one-armed man leave the cellar entrance in a hurry as she entered the building.
Well, what's suspicious about that? He might have been a friend of the janitor.
Miss Williams told me that she'd seen him in a huddle with her employer early this morning, before the fire.
But that still doesn't prove anything.
Now, wait. As he left, she heard him say to Gordon, "Don't worry, your troubles will soon be over. We won't miss."
Has Gordon been having trouble of some sort?
Yes, financial trouble. Been losing money on his houses. He also has a loft building that's been empty for months.
That certainly looks suspicious.
Yes. And I figure my trail begins with Mr. Gordon.
Well, what are you going to do?
Call upon Mr. Gordon and make him talk.
Charlton Dan Garrett to see you.
Now, what's he want? I'm busy.
He says it's very important to you.
Oh, well, I'll see him.
The Charlton Dan Garrett, Mr. Gordon.
Oh, come in, officer. Oh, what's on your mind? Very busy this afternoon. Fire this morning and everything. Very upsetting. Heavy financial loss.
To you or to the insurance company?
What's that?
I asked you to whom the fire was a heavy financial loss. To you or the insurance company?
Now, look here. Just because you wear that uniform, don't think that you can be impertinent to the taxpayers. I'll report you to...
Just a minute, Mr. Gordon. I'm here on official business. Your buildings were heavily insured. You stand to gain rather than lose by this fire today. The fire chief reports evidence of incendiarism.
What do you mean? How can you report such a thing? I'll have his badge.
Look, Mr. Gordon, I'm here to help you if I can. You tell me who the ringleaders are in this arson racket, and I'll do what I can to get you off lightly when your case comes up in court.
Court? Wait, who said anything about court?
I did. You're going to be arrested shortly on suspicion of being party to a conspiracy to defraud the fire insurance company.
No, you can't do that.
No. Why don't you break down? Give me the information I'm after.
What do you want to know?
Who was the one-armed man who was seen to leave the building just before the fire?
One-armed man? Why, I don't know anyone.
Who had a confidential talk with you earlier this morning?
My secretary...
Don't bring your secretary into this. After all, she almost lost her life today, collecting rents for you.
All right, I'll tell you. His name is Joe Durando. He's called Stumpy. He works for the Modern Wrecking and Construction Company.
They wreck buildings and construct buildings. Get you coming and going. Quite a profitable business, I'd say.
Now, listen. I didn't want to do this thing. They threatened to undermine my tenements so they'd collapse. If I didn't hire them to burn them down, the buildings collapsed, I'd get no insurance at all. It'd be a total loss.
So that's their racket. What do they get out of it?
$1,000 down and 20% of the insurance.
Not bad. And I suppose they get the job of rebuilding?
Yes, that's part of the contract.
Who's the head of the company?
I don't know. Stumpy always spoke of his boss as the skipper.
Stumpy must have been in the Navy at one time.
I don't know that.
What does the gang use that makes the fires spread so quickly? Gasoline?
No, not that.
Will you go down with me to the DA and tell him what you've just told me?
Now, look here, officer. My life isn't worth a dime right now for talking with you.
Don't worry. The DA will have you guarded day and night. What was that?
Why, that sounded like my secretary's voice.
Come on, let's see who it is.
Not here. Look, those men. They're carrying her off.
You're right. Hey, stop.
Look out!
Now, take, Chopper. I'll fix you for sticking your nose into what don't concern you. Come on, Gordon, take a walk with me.
Oh, no.
Come on. I've got this gun in your back, so don't open your trap. You and me is going for a little ride. The skipper wants to see you.
Later that evening, high up in one of the city's skyscrapers, Stumpy is reporting to his skipper.
You see, it was like this, Skipper.
Yes?
I seen the copper go into Gordon's office. And I figured maybe Gordon's secretary had spilled the beans to Garrett after he rescued her. So I called some of the boys.
Of course.
Then when the copper stayed in with Gordon so long, well, I figured the heat was being turned on. So I decided to pick up Gordon as well as a girl.
You took a terrible risk by kidnapping them in broad daylight.
Well, what else could I do, Skipper? The heat was on.
Where are they now?
I got them tied up on one of your barges down at the end of River Street.
You bring them out to my yacht about midnight. We'll see how much they've spilled to the police.
Okay, Skipper.
And keep away from waterfront saloons. If you get drunk tonight, you're all through.
Sure, Skipper. You can trust me. I won't take not even one drink.
You'd better not if you know what's good for you. I've got a couple of jobs for you tomorrow, and I want you sober.
And you can trust me, Skipper. I know where my bread and butter comes from.
All right. Remember that. If you want to be able to continue eating bread and butter.
What will happen to Elsie Williams and the brave little secretary? Will Gordon be bumped off for talking? Can Dan Garrett recover from the blow on the head in time to catch the thugs? Or will he lose the trail completely? Meanwhile, at Dr. Franz's little apothecary shop, Patrolman Dan Garrett is talking with Dr. Franz while donning his Blue Beetle chain armor and mask.
Doc, I've got a hunch.
Has that sailor costume you brought along something to do with your hunch?
Yes. I'm going to put it on over my Blue Beetle costume.
Well, what's the idea?
Well, I'm convinced that the arson trail leads down to the waterfront.
That's an interesting thought. A fire trail leading to water.
Yes, but nevertheless, that's the way I see it.
Well, what gives you the idea the trail leads in that direction?
Stumpy's reference to his boss as skipper, which may mean that Stumpy's been a sailor, or that the head of the arson ring may have headquarters on a ship of some kind.
I see.
Also, I learned from Gordon today that naphtha is being used to saturate the buildings before setting them afire. Naphtha is used extensively around ships to remove grease and paint and rust.
Well, what are you going to do?
Disguise myself as a sailor and see if I can pick up Stumpy's trail in one of the waterfront cafes.
That would be dangerous, Danny.
I love danger, Doc. When it's in the line of duty, or part of my crusade against crime.
Well, you'd better let me change your face a bit with some makeup. I'd act a little tipsy if I were you. It would be more convincing.
Say, that's a great idea. I'll hide my Blue Beetle mask until I go into action as the Blue Beetle. And when I do, some people are going to get a big surprise.
What's the matter, sailor? Lost your sweetheart?
I'm looking for my friend Stumpy. Lost my pal Stumpy. You know Stumpy?
Sure, I know Stumpy.
Gotta find Stumpy.
What do you want with him?
He's gotta give me a job. He's my pal. Said if I ever wanted a job ashore, he'd steer me into a good job.
Well, I ain't seen him. Maybe you could find him down at the end of River Street.
End of River Street? What's Stumpy doing down there?
Sometimes he sleeps on one of the modern wrecking and construction company's barges.
Oh, that's swell. Promised me a job, he did. I'll go find him and buy him a drink. Oh, Stumpy! Stumpy! Stumpy!
Hello, Gus. This is Maisie. Look, there's a guy coming down there looking for Stumpy. Yeah. Says he's a pal of Stumpy's. Pretending he's drunk. But he ain't. He's cold sober and he ain't no pal of Stumpy's. Okay, goodbye.
Find my pal Stumpy. You know Stumpy? One-armed Stumpy Durano?
Sure, I know him. He's down on the barge there. Come on, pal, let me see you.
Oh, that's very kind of you, matey.
Why, don't mention it. I'm a seafaring man myself.
Seafaring men gotta stick together. Stumpy's a seafaring man.
Now, watch your step, matey. Yeah, here's the barge. Stumpy'll be glad to see an old friend.
Oh, Stumpy's...
You'll find him right down there. And if he ain't down there now, you can talk to the rats until he comes.
Hey, that's you, Gus?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I just knocked an old pal of yours into the hold of this scow.
Who was he?
I don't know. But Maisie phoned he was asking for you and playing drunk up at the cafe.
Yeah, probably a dick.
Yeah. Well, what'll I do with him?
Put the hatch cover on and pile some bags of sand on it. I'll go up and phone the skipper at the office.
Okay, I'll take care of it.
If this egg in the hole gets noisy, open up the hatch and fill the hole with sand. That'll keep him quiet for a long time.
What will happen to the Blue Beetle now? Can he escape from the rat-infested tomb? Or will he be smothered to death by sand? In the meantime, several telephones are busy.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Yes, you're right. something should be done about these costly fires. What? Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. I'll be glad to serve on the Citizens Committee. Thanks. Anything for the good of the city. Oh, by the way, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to have you and your wife spend the weekend on my yacht sometime. Oh, no, not at all, not at all. It'll be a pleasure. Yes? Yes, all right. Well, just let me know when. Goodbye.
Stumpy on the other phone, sir.
Hello? Yes? What? That sounds suspicious. It may be that Patrolman Dan Garrett playing detective. What? Yeah, it's a good idea, Stumpy. Tell Gus to open up the sand elevator and fill the hole. Yes, sink her if necessary. We're insured. I'll meet you out at the yacht in a half hour. Bring Gordon and the girl. If we find out that they've squealed, you'll know what to do. Goodbye.
Hello? Dr. Franz speaking.
Hello, Doc. Can you hear me?
Yes, Danny, yes.
I'm talking through my portable wireless telephone.
Well, where are you?
In the hold of a sand barge at the foot of River Street.
Are you in danger?
Not yet.
Well, what happened?
Someone knocked me into the hold, and now they're filling the barge with sand.
But, Danny, you'll be buried alive.
Oh, look, Doc. Telephone the police to come at once to the Modern Wrecking and Construction Company's warehouse. I'm in the barge, tied up to the pier. Hurry, Doc. Hurry.
Where are you taking us?
Out to the skipper's yacht.
Who's the skipper?
Don't you wish you knew and could tell somebody?
I know who you are and what you do.
Yeah, but it ain't gonna do you no good. You'll never tell.
What do you mean?
The skipper ain't taking no chances on you or your boss there squealing. Hey, Gordon, you awake? He's awake.
You'll never get away with this. Patrolman Dan Garrett is on your trail.
So you did squeal. That's who the guy was that Gus knocked into the hold of the sand barge. Well, he'll never tell nobody nothing. He's buried alive by this time. Well, that must be the skipper now, on his way out to the yacht. We'll both make it about the same... Yeah. Or maybe it's someone... Pipe down or I'll slap you overboard. I should have left a gag in your mouth. That's what a guy gets for being soft-hearted.
Okay,
Skipper?
Yeah. That's you, Stumpy?
Yeah.
Keep that girl quiet. Follow me to the yacht.
Okay, Skipper. Now, just for yelling, I'm going to gag you up again.
No!
That'll hold you.
I regret very much, Miss Williams and Mr. Gordon, that you saw fit to express yourselves to the authorities to the extent you have. In my business, long tongues mean short lives.
What are you going to do with it?
My lawyers... Your lawyers will assist in settling your estate, Mr. Gordon. Only your heirs will benefit by your long tongue.
No, you can't mean that...
That's my meaning very quickly, Mr. Gordon. We're all going for a little sea voyage. But you and Miss Williams aren't coming back.
The Blue Beetle! Yes, the Blue Beetle. Stumpy. Drop that gun, Stumpy. You might injure the young lady.
Why, you...
Stumpy! On your whole crew, you murderous arsonist. It won't save you. Your racket is smashed. Your cloak of respectability will no longer shield you.
Listen, you guys in the doorway. Don't let this guy bluff you. Grab him.
Don't move, any of you. Or I'll blast you with my ray gun. The police will never take me alive.
Stop him. Stop the skipper. He's going to jump
I'll
overboard.
shoot by fire, and I'll die by water. Well, tell me, Danny, how did you escape from the hold of that sandbar?
I discovered one of the hatches wasn't tight. So as the hole filled with sand, I climbed up in the sand, raised the hatch, and crawled out.
That was a narrow escape.
Yes.
Well, what did you do then?
I heard a girl scream across the water, so I figured it must be Miss Williams' voice. I dived overboard swam out to a speedboat moored nearby and climbed aboard. Luckily, I found the ignition key in the switch and started her up. The rest was easy. Drove the boat out to within a quarter mile of the yacht Typhoon, dived over and swam out to her. From then on, it was just a matter of getting aboard without being seen.
You certainly had an exciting night.
Yes, but that's what the Blue Beetle craves.
Oh, by the way, Danny, did they find the skipper's body?
Not yet.
Well, as he said, he lived by fire and died by water. My, what a strange epitaph.
Yes. But I'd prefer one which would read, "Here sleeps the Blue Beetle. He did his job now, and rest in peace." That's just what I'm going to do. Good night, Doc. A fire nor flood can turn me from my self-appointed task. I'm going to get some sleep.
And so the Blue Beetle smashed another crooked racket and chalked up another victory for his crusade against crime. Further adventures of Patrolman Dan Garrett will be presented in the next episode of The Blue Beetle. Copyrighted Fox feature appearing in Mystery Men Comics magazine on sale at your newsstand. The Blue Beetle is on the air twice a week on this same station. Consult the broadcast schedule in your local newspapers. And don't forget to listen in.